Mississippi Speed Record, an epic adventure behind the scenes. This is the story behind the story. Filming a record-breaking journey down the Mississippi River isn't just about capturing the adventure. It's about keeping up with it. And when that adventure runs 24 hours a day for over 16 days straight, the challenge isn't just theirs, it's ours too. A two-person crew, limited resources, no second takes, no timeouts, just the river, the racers, the support crew, and the relentless pursuit of the record. After the trip, there was a celebration with the whole crew in New Orleans.
None of us are in a position to speak with a tremendous amount of clarity or wisdom. We actually came up a couple days ago with a key diagram that kind of describes our emotional well-being, which is that if you imagined in the center you have crime, and then in an arc around the center you have all other emotions. So you might have, for example, happiness, direct arrow to crime. Hunger, direct arrow to crime. I think that's the gist of what I wanted to convey.
I'll just start crying.
Yeah.
And Office, the boat.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that boat. I just wanted to book.
I would just like everybody to take a moment to look around. Just look around, look at all of the faces that are here. The people, oh goodness, we made this happen. All of us here, everybody in this room. Tomorrow's gonna be different. We're all gonna go to our separate places. We're gonna go back to our lives. But right here, right now, this is our thing. We made this happen. Everybody here, the love, the synergy, the spirit. It was absolutely amazing. And we felt all of you guys. We felt everybody here.
The opportunity to get to be part of an actual epic adventure. I keep talking about Huck Finn and The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings and things. And to me, that's what this kind of an epic adventure fills my soul and fills my heart with the same feelings I had as a kid when I read Huckleberry Finn or Tom Sawyer or The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. And it just makes you feel alive to get to be part of something like this. Whatever your role was, to get out there in that big, beautiful, amazing river. It was an adventure every hour. And it was an adventure for everybody who came out and was part of it. So thank you all very much.
Here's a look at some of the gear that was necessary to make this trip happen. At the end, they had to lay it all out in a parking lot so that everyone could take the gear that belonged to them.
Be mine, but I think I saw somebody else with a pair too.
Those are likely yours because mine were Under Armour version.
Okay.
So those are yours.
Okay.
Glad to see you guys are having just as much trouble with that as we were.
As everyone started to feel the pull of returning to their regular lives, many had to go back to work right away. But we weren't done yet. We still had to do the post-trip interviews with all the paddlers and a few of the support crew members. Our marathon continued as we tried to squeeze everyone in before they headed home. We managed to get a group interview with all 4 paddlers that lasted nearly 3.5 hours. Normally, we try to avoid such large group interviews because the group dynamics can sometimes cause certain people to dominate the conversation and it's harder to film. But in this case, it made sense since the paddlers had such a tight bond. For the individual paddler interviews, we couldn't fit everyone in during that time. So we followed Wally to his house in Illinois, Judd to his home in Wisconsin, and Scott Miller to his place in Minnesota for their final interviews. Wally and his son George welcomed us into their basement, where they showed off an incredible model train set, the perfect backdrop for Wally's interview. Judd serenaded us with his beautiful collection of dulcimers, filling the room with music. That's amazing.
awesome. Thanks. Just noodle around, sending square ants.
Why are they hearts?
Okay, so this was traditionally a courting instrument. And they would match a young man and a young woman together. And if they could play music together, they would marry him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's pretty
So it was
high
like
stakes.
And I'm like, Scott, what's the matter? He's like, the rudder pedals aren't working. They're not working. And I'm like, I got you, man. So like I get up and I go, we fix them together. And he's like, oh, okay, awesome. Thanks, Judd. That's so great. Thank you so much. And I can tell he's really sleepy. And I can tell Paul's really sleepy too. And so I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm going to bed. So I actually fall asleep. And then all of a sudden, I hear the wildest laughter that you've ever heard in your entire life. Not like normal laughter, like reckless, wild, lost your mind, delirious laughing. Like I'll try to imitate it. It was something like, and Paul's like, my abs, oh my God, my abs. And Scott's just laughing, and it's out of control laughter. And so I'm like, what is going on? So I like open up the tarp or the spray deck, and I get out and I look up, and the canoe's going like this. It's spinning around in circles, and the guys are just laughing out of control. And what they were laughing about wasn't really even funny. They were like made up that there was a wildlife refuge for hippopotamus on the river. They were just out of control laughing about it.
And at Scott's house, we took a break to play with his kitties. A lighthearted moment in the midst of a busy week. The Winona Canoe Company, the maker of the Mighty Duffus, was right next to Judd's house, and Judd was able to arrange an interview with the owner for us. At the time, we thought it would be a valuable addition to film. However, with the direction the movie ultimately took in the edit, we ended up not needing it. That's a tough lesson to learn as a documentary filmmaker. It's always important to capture the shots you think you might need, but it's just as crucial not to use footage in the edit that isn't necessary. Finally, it was time to head home to Montana. We were completely exhausted, but proud of the work we'd done and grateful for the new friendships we made along the way. Once we got back, we slept. A lot. It took a couple of weeks to finally get back to a normal sleep schedule. In an ideal world, we would have started editing the 6 terabytes of footage we just came home with right away. But that's not how it went. We were totally broke at that point. All our cards were maxed out, rent was due, and we had no money. We had to focus on finding paying work. This project covered our expenses, but we weren't getting paid for it. We don't want to sugarcoat this part of the process. It's a tough reality that most filmmakers face when starting out, especially if you're creating your own projects rather than working on someone else's. Eventually, we started a GoFundMe to raise money for post-production and began shooting weddings for a more sustainable income. It took over a year, but we finally freed up enough resources, mentally and financially, to begin editing the movie. Stay tuned as our behind-the-scenes series continues with a look into the editing process behind this 90-minute documentary. Mississippi Speed Record, an epic adventure, behind the scenes.